You've been told to raise your vibration, to just think positive thoughts and good things will happen. But what if the real power isn't in the universe, but in your brain? What if you have the ability to control your reality right now? This might sound a little out there, but I am going to show you how teachings like the law of attraction are actually backed by science. So let me explain. There's this part of your brain called the race, the reticular activating system. It's like the brain's bouncer. Its job is to filter all the info coming in through your senses, deciding what you pay attention to and what you don't. Like right now, there's so much information hitting your retinas, but you're only aware of the words on the screen and my voice because that is what you're focused on. The rest filters out everything else. So what does this mean? It means that you can't actually see all possible realities like some people teach. You're limited by what you pay attention to. So when someone says just attract what you want into your life, they're really talking about focusing on what you want, which changes what you pay attention to. It's all about shifting your focus. Now, some people say if you vibrate higher, you'll attract better things. Well, science says our brains naturally filter out most of the world's information anyway. So instead of trying to be super positive all the time, which is exhausting, focus on what you want and let the universe, your brain, do the rest. This might sound simple, but your brain is constantly scanning for threats. It's wired for survival. When something grabs your attention, like a loud noise or a flashing light, your brain triggers stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. So if you're constantly bombarded with negative news or toxic people, no wonder you feel stressed. The key is to be aware of what you're paying attention to. If it's not serving you, change it. Okay, next up, let's talk about neuroplasticity. It's fancy, it's scientific, and it means your brain is always changing, growing, and adapting based on what you pay attention to. Think of it like a muscle. If you lift weights, it gets stronger. If you ignore it, it atrophies. Your brain works the same way. When you have a thought pattern that's not serving you, like negative self-talk or worrying about the future, it creates a groove in your brain, almost like a rut. But here's the cool thing. You can create new grooves, new pathways in your brain by thinking new thoughts. It's like building a new habit. At first it takes effort, but over time it becomes easier. So neuroplasticity shows us that we're not stuck with our negative thought patterns or beliefs. We have the power to change them, which changes how we feel and how we act. For example, let's say every time you walk outside, you think, oh, I hope I don't get mugged. That thought pattern creates fear and anxiety, which makes you more likely to stay inside and less likely to enjoy the outdoors. Not helpful. Instead, you can think, wow, the sun feels good on my skin, or I'm grateful to be able to walk outside. These thoughts create positive feelings, which make you want to be outside more. And guess what? The more you practice thinking positively, the easier it becomes. It's like a workout for your brain. Neuroplasticity also helps explain why some people seem to bounce back from setbacks faster than others. It's not luck. It's their brain's response to change. They're creating new pathways by thinking differently. So what can you do to change your thought patterns? One way is to use affirmations, positive statements that help you focus on what you want. But here's the important part. Don't just say them mindlessly. Really think about what you're saying and let it sink in. If you want to learn more about changing your thoughts, I have a whole video on how affirmations affect the brain coming up soon. So keep a lookout for that. Alright, now let's talk about emotional states. Our brains are always scanning for threats, and when it finds one, it triggers stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. The problem is that chronic stress isn't good for us. It raises blood pressure, weakens our immune system, and messes with our sleep. So what do we do about it? One way is to practice emotional regulation, basically learning how to manage your emotions. When you feel threatened, instead of running away or freezing in fear, you can take a deep breath. Name the emotion you're feeling, then decide how to respond. For example, instead of lashing out when you're angry, you can take a moment to calm down before responding. This prevents you from making decisions you'll later regret. Emotional regulation helps you stay in what psychologists call the window of tolerance, a state where you can clearly think and act without being overwhelmed by stress hormones. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, not too hot, not too cold, just right. When you're in the window of tolerance, you can use the rational part of your brain to make good decisions and solve problems. But when you're flooded with stress hormones, you're more likely to act impulsively or shut down. So why is this important? Because when you're in the window of tolerance, you're more likely to achieve what you want. You can focus, plan, and take action. When you're overwhelmed or shut down, you can't. Emotional regulation is a skill like anything else. It takes practice. But there are proven techniques that work. For example, mindfulness meditation has been shown to help people regulate their emotions better. Here's where it all comes together. Your brain's always scanning for threats, but it's also looking for rewards. When you notice something rewarding, like a delicious meal or a funny meme, your brain releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. It's your brain's way of saying, pay attention to this, it's good for you. So when you start noticing the good stuff, your brain starts to focus on the positive. It's like training your brain to be a detective. Instead of always looking for threats, it learns to spot rewards. This is why gratitude is so powerful. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you train your brain to notice the good stuff. It's like teaching your brain to see the world through rose-colored glasses, and guess what? Science shows that gratitude increases happiness and well-being. It even boosts the immune system. Neuroscience reveals that your choices matter more than you think. In fact, your decisions account for about 40% of the changes in your future. That's a big chunk of change. It's easy to blame external factors like your upbringing or the economy for your situation, but the truth is you have more control than you think. For example, let's say you're unhappy in your relationship. Instead of hoping your partner magically changes, consider whether you're in the right relationship to begin with. Maybe it's time to move on, or let's say you're stuck in a dead-end job. Instead of fantasizing about winning the lottery, think about what skills you need to advance in your career. Then take small steps like taking a class or talking to your boss. Taking small actions can lead to big changes. And if this is resonating with you, that your focus, emotions, and choices are what really shape your future, then you'll love the book. It's definitely you. It's not about waiting for signs or hoping for change. It's about becoming the kind of person who creates it. And yes, it's funny, it's bold, and it'll challenge you in the best way. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. So let me tell you a story. There was this guy named Alex. He was 26 years old and felt like his life was a total mess. He was broke, single, and still living with his parents. One day, he stumbled upon a self-help book in the bookstore, and it changed his life. Alex learned that he wasn't a victim of his circumstances. He had the power to change his future. He started by setting small goals like getting a job and saving money. Once he accomplished those goals, he set bigger ones like buying a house and starting a family. With each goal he achieved, his confidence grew, and so did his income and happiness. In fact, within 3 years, Alex was making 6 figures and had his own company. He couldn't believe how much he had changed, and it made him realize that anyone can become whoever they want to be. All it takes is a little bit of effort and a lot of belief in yourself. So remember, you have the power to change your future. Don't wait for something outside of you to do it. Take control of your life and make it happen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.